Cyber people are on the air. For digital safety, we're showing you where. Cybersecurity starts with cyber sense, it's key. Join the conversation, come learn with me. The TCP radio show, let's go. Knowledge and answers, watch them grow. Hear what you need from those who know. This is the TCP radio show. Hey, the cyber people are on the air. For digital safety, we're showing you where. Cybersecurity starts with cyber sense, it's key. Join the conversation, come learn with me. TCP radio show, let's go. Knowledge and answers, watch them grow. Hear what you need from those who know. This is the TCP radio show.
Hello and good evening and welcome. My name is Clifford from the Cyber People, and I'm thrilled to be here with you tonight for this very special live stream. I should say welcome back to the second live stream in this series. Today we'll look at what makes up the Windows Forensics Examiner training from IASIS. This is in preparation for the training and certification for the same for the training, and we look into what's involved in the training, some of the stuff that make up the components that make up the training, as well as what to expect. This training will be offered at the upcoming 2026 Caribbean Digital Forensics and Cybersecurity Summit, and we are live from Barbados. Before we dive in, let me just go through some quick housekeeping matters, some housekeeping rules for our stream tonight, just to make sure that, you know, we're all able to communicate with each other, your questions, your comments are not missed, and that you know why we do certain things. To ensure a valuable and engaging discussion for everyone, we're using subscriber-only chat. This allows us to help cut down on the amount of spam and bots and allow for a more meaningful interaction. You might also notice a slight delay in the chat, and that is for the same reason as well. This keeps things smooth and secure. As the producer and the moderator for this session, we also have some fantastic moderators in the for this live stream who will be able to take your questions and your comments and highlight them to our guests and our guest hosts. So please don't hesitate to get involved and to engage and to send your questions or drop your comments, anything you want to know about this particular course, this particular training, and if you want to ask any question from the previous live stream which we had that dealt with where we discussed another one of the training session. That was that one was the cyber incident forensic response training session, and of course we have Neil with us, who is going to share with us everything we need to know. But just before I introduce Neil and bring him on to take over from me, I just want to tell you who the Cyber People are. We are a startup right here on the island of Barbados, and our core focus is on the human element of cybersecurity. We believe that encouraging people with empowering people with knowledge is key to building a stronger defense against cyber threats, and that's why we specialize in providing comprehensive cybersecurity awareness training. Tonight we're promoting our vital course, which is from IASIS, and that is the Windows Forensics Examiner. And Neil, quick question for you: is there an advanced version to this training as well, or we're just offering the Windows Forensics Examiner certification?
Oh, the Sorry. Good night to all. Good night to all. Thanks again, cyber people, for putting this together. To answer your question, Clifford, is the course is going to be changed to the advanced Windows forensics evidence. So it's going to be combining the basic and the advanced together.
Okay.
So this is something new coming for 2026 by IASIS.
Okay, perfect, great. And again, this training is scheduled to commence in August 2026 as part of the Caribbean Digital Forensics and Cybersecurity Summit. This is an incredible opportunity to gain critical skills in a rapid evolving field. You can find more information about this specific training at the link we've provided. The link is, I'll put the link in the chat, and it's also a part of this stream description. For anyone interested in getting more information about the training and to receive a notification when registration is officially open, which is going to be done at a later date, we have a pre-registration link that I'm going to also place that in the chat, but you can also find that in the description. So please fill out the registration link. On that link, you'll find a list of all of the courses or all of the training that's going to be provided by IASIS in August 2026. And whichever one you're very much interested in and want to do, you can highlight that one, submit the form, and then as the official registration open up and as we get more information, we'll package it together and send it off to you. So again, introducing, a while ago you heard from Neil Hinds. He'll unpack why this training is so important and to guide us through tonight's discussion. It's always an absolute delight to have a chat with Neil. He is very well versed and experienced. He is the CEO and senior consultant for digital technologies and services, and he's a true leader in the field and a good friend. And I'm going to probe him because he recently were part of a very interested I was a seminar that we had here in Barbados. I didn't have a chance to go to it, but I would like to get his insight before we go into the actual discussion for tonight. So Neil, tell us, how was that session? Just,
Session has been postponed. The session was postponed to next week. So it's next week. So you still have a chance to come.
All right, no problem. Sounds like a plan. Sounds like a plan indeed. And let me just switch things up here so I can. Well, if that's the case, well then, I have a few questions to ask about this particular course, but this particular training session. But before I do that, I'll just let you go ahead, take over, and let just set the groundwork for this particular training.
Perfect. Good night once again to all. It's always great to be here with these cyber people. They are doing tremendous work in the Caribbean, and I implore them, and I also support every initiative that they have come up with. Even I'm constantly checking LinkedIn, and they're also posting those do's and don'ts. And I mean, that is phenomenal to get out to the general public. And this is one of the things that we want to put together, not only for the Digital Forensics and Cybersecurity Summit coming up in 2026 in August in Barbados, but for the general public, to understand that every single person have a key role to play in preventing some of these threats that are infiltrating our systems, infiltrating our businesses, infiltrating our personal systems at home. I mean, it's so much that we can do as just one individual, but we're not knowledge. We're not fully equipped with the knowledge. So these is one of the things that we are coming together to help guide you into the future in this evolving field of digital forensics and cybersecurity. And when I say the future in this evolving field is, we have different flavors or different disciplines within the cybersecurity and digital forensics. And we have to understand that not only from creating policies and implementations and doing threat analysis, which falls under the general GRC rule, governance, risk management, and compliance. You also have to look at finding the threat actors who are continuously working around the clock to infiltrate systems to obtain those inviolable data sets to hold us ransom. So if we have the governance in place, we have the risk management that we're looking at, we have the compliance, all well and good. But there are other fields that require the expertise. And some of these fields that require the expertise is the digital forensics. It's understanding how to get that data. It's understanding how the systems, the computer systems store this data. You have to also remember it's ones and zeros. It's not when we type good morning, good evening, whatever the case may be, the computer's not seeing that. The computer is seeing that as ones and zeros. So we have to use the forensic method in understanding how to interpret those ones and zeros. And this is where IASIS comes into play. But before we get in and we delve right into the IASIS, we need to understand as well what IASIS is. Now, you can go online and you can look up IASIS. It is www.iacis.com. And what that stands for, let's see. Anybody can tell me? How about you, Clifford? You can tell me? Well, Clifford seems to just slide away a little bit. But the IASIS is an international accredited program that provides the certification in several of these forensic disciplines. And if you go to their training website, you will see that they have a host of training from advanced mobile device. You have basic computer forensics examiner. You have a cyber incident response, forensic response, which we spoke about last week. They have other several trainings that you can take, and it's all certified. It's all certified. So your certification is also, and this is something that you need to really comprehend. It is one of the most sought programs in the United States by law enforcement entities around the world. So in the 50 states, this is one of the most sought courses that that's being sought by law enforcement. It is also sought by private sector. So because you may not be law enforcement, there is scope for you within the private sector that you can take these courses. There's one little caveat to it. And as you know, threat actors are going to try to find out how, where, and when, and how we're doing these investigations. So the one caveat is that you need to undergo a background check, and that is just to verify who you are, and that you're not one of these threat actors who are trying to find out how the good boys, the good girls are conducting these investigations, how they're finding them, anything. But these certifications, these trainings, is so critical for the Caribbean. And when they say it's so critical for the Caribbean, it's this. And that IASIS is mostly their in-person courses is in the United States. Having them come to the region, having them travel from the US to the region is one of the most opportune times that you can not only travel from your Pacific country, but travel within the region, which is going to be a lot easier for you than to having, if you don't have a visa, having to go and get a visa and all that. It's so critical for the Caribbean because, as I said earlier, we have different flavors and we have different disciplines, and people may want to go in the GRC route, but other persons will want to go into the digital forensics route. And having that capability come to the Caribbean is so tremendous. It is so, I cannot even describe it. It is so palatable for the region, and it's going to be a less cost on you. Yes, we still have to travel within the region, and sometimes we would say the travel cost in the region is more expensive than traveling to the US. But look at it from this point of view. We are trying to build capacity in the region. We're trying to build the momentum in the region that is going to be needed for the future. So we are being proactive. And that is one of the things that we tend not to do in the Caribbean, is be proactive. And this is one initiative that we want to be proactive on. Build that capacity so that when the need and the niche is needed, and it's going to be needed very, very soon. Because as you know, the region has been a target for cyber incidences. We are lacking, we are way behind, and this is one initiative that we can come forward and work in building that capacity so that we will be a step ahead eventually down the road. So, as I was saying, it is one of the most sought programs in the US by law enforcement as well as the private sector. So don't feel because you're not law enforcement that you cannot attend the courses. You can attend these courses. And all we need to do is to submit your information to IASIS, and IASIS is going to do what they need to do in order to verify who you are, and you're admitted into the course. But know this, you're not just pay money and coming to a course to receive the knowledge. You're also going to be receiving a laptop with all the software that you were using in the training. So they're not only going to train you for that 1 week in this particular course until you go home, do your exam, and that's it. They're going to continuously working with you. They're going to be sending you different sets, different data sets for you to continue working the problems and working to find the evidence, the artifacts, etc., so that you become competent, not just a 1 week course. You're going to become competent so that when you take up your resume and you send it to a business space that is looking for a digital forensic analyst, you're able to say that you are not only have the skill sets, but you're competent in finding those artifacts. You're competent in looking for the specific artifact in a specific file folder, or looking for the artifact and understanding how the ones and zeros was calculated to be stored in this specific folder. You're going to be looking at logs. You'll be able to find, okay, I need to look at these specific logs for a specific incident. These are the type of things that you're going to be competent with. And why we need to be competent in this is because of this. Look, we have vendor-based software, Magnet Forensics, Oxygen Forensics, and the Tego Global, and some of the other Celebrate, some of the other forensic tools, FTK, Access Data, etc. Those are vendor-based tools. They are going to take the data sets, they're going to break it down, and they're going to take all those ones and zeros and turn them into user-friendly data sets that is laid out for you in a way that you can understand it and comprehend it. But how did that specific software did it? How was it achieved? How was it turned from ones and zeros to what you're seeing in those forensic tools? This is where IASIS comes into play. IASIS is going to tell you and give you how those ones and zeros was translated into readable data. That's point number one. Because you need to know how that was achieved for you to give that evidence either in a court of law or to your management because it may be a case of an insider threat. So you will have to show how is that person who was working in that specific business environment was able to implement or attack the system from inside. You just can't say, okay, John Brown, we know for a fact John Brown planted infection via USB because it was inserted into his system. How do we know for a fact that it was John Brown who inserted that specific flash drive into the system? Yes, the forensics tool is going to tell you when and where and how that flash drive was inserted, which port it was inserted into, and who accessed the system under which password or login credential. Yes, the forensic tool is going to give you that. But how can you independently verify that that artifact is in truth and fact was the one that John Brown would have inserted into that system? And this is where the nuts and bolts come into play with IASIS. IASIS is going to allow you to independently verify the artifacts. Hence, evidence that was forensically extracted from the system. That's point number one. And this is very, very critical to understand, is that you need to independently verify. Because I can take 3 different tools that's going to be give me 3 different sets of artifacts, which are all correct, but it depends on the algorithm and it depends on how that data was translated by the forensics tool. So you being able to independently verify those ones and zeros is going to be step number 1, very critical. So IASIS training is going to allow you not only to get those ones and zeros translated independently, but it allows you to for a deeper exploration of the underlying subject matter. And when I say the deeper exploration, we're talking about this. John Brown walks in to the system, insert the flash drive, executed the program. Now, the deeper exploration is going to be able to tell you when that program is executed, where it went to, the route it took. That is a deeper exploration, because you just cannot come out and say, okay, John Brown inserted it and he executed the program and that's it. You need to understand the deeper exploration. You need to know where all of that executable files went, where it attacked, so that you're not only pinning John Brown to the incident, but you're also allowing your management and you're allowing the system managers to understand we need to go and we need to clean this part of the system. We need to go into the registry. We need to clean out the registry of this infected file, every case may be. So that is the deeper exploration part of it. And that is how you're going to also assist the management in knowing how to protect that system in the future, how to protect persons from inserting their own devices into a computer system, which comes back now into the GRC. So you see how it ties in. It ties in from the point where you're the digital forensic analyst. You're seeing what is occurring. You're going to report, and then management is going to be able to look at their GRC rules and say, okay, we need to create a different policy, or we need to strengthen our policy in order to prevent this again from happening. Because at the end of the day, we need to not only get rid of John Brown, but we also need to continuously work on protecting our system. So that deeper exploration, as I said, is assisting in underlying the subject matter that might be afforded in other programs, which are then designed to complete a particular task or view that extracted artifact for that particular artifact or for other artifacts that you may uncover. So the other artifacts that you may uncover is the date and time, which is critical for when you're putting together your case. Is your date and time? When was it inserted? When was it executed? Because John Brown can say, well, I was not at the office at a specific time. But then your other artifacts that you're looking at is the login credentials. So that is another artifact that's going to tie that person to that specific incident, because he's using his login credentials. Let's forbid he may have used someone else's login credentials, but that other person that he may have used may not have been at work at that specific time. So then you kind of negate what John Brown was saying, that he was not there, or he didn't use his login credentials, or he didn't use the other person's login credentials. So all those artifacts are found within the Windows system, Windows and Linux systems. So you need to know within when you're doing this training, you need to know how to find those artifacts, how to interpret those artifacts from ones and zeros, and not how they're user-friendly displayed in these forensic tools. I mean, I'm not knocking the forensic tools. I love the forensic tools because it's much easier to use. But as an examiner and as a certified specialist, you need to know the very, very basics. And this very basics is those ones and zeros translated and how they're done. So the program also is designed to build and expand the student, existing forensic knowledge and skill sets. No, I'll be upfront. It is not an entry-level class. It is not an entry-level class. There are prerequisites that you can find on the CMIASIS website. But if you don't have those prerequisites, but you have a knowledge, you have the understanding, there's a possibility that IASIS will allow you to take the AWFE, which is the Advanced Windows Forensics course. But do not let that get you down, because it's not an entry level. We have other courses that you can take. I think I would have sent it to Clifford.
Yeah, we do have a few others. You mean as prerequisites, or that we're offering 2026?
The prerequisites. I think I sent you the bluecapesecurity.com courses. You can put that in the chat. I can send it to you again if you want.
Yeah.
But these are coming with some free courses that you can take, which can help you with as a prerequisite for the AWFE. But again, what we were saying earlier is the understanding how computers communicate and how data is stored is very, very critical and important if you're going into the digital forensics field. I know we have some people that are very keen on the GRC, but I've been receiving calls from other persons saying, "Hey, Neil, how do I transition into digital forensics? How do I transition into cyber incidents and response?" Because I was taught GRC, and I tell them, listen, first you need to know what you really want in this field, because again, there's several different flavors. There's, as I said, the GRC, the governance, the risk management, and the compliance. Those three alone, you can work on developing policies. So developing policies is going to require you to know what threats are out there, how these threat actors are infiltrating systems, so that you can create a policy for those threats. So that in itself is a wide range there. Your risk management, again, how are you going to assess your risks and managing that risk for a company? And then the compliance. The compliance is what are you going to institute to comply with the governance aspect, to work against the risks. Because at the end of the day, we have to understand that if we can decrease the risk, we increase our profits. So those three components in itself is a different area. But digital forensics and cyber incident response is something that if you're going to be interested in, you have to have patience. It is not going to be push button. Yes, the forensics tools is a push button, but for you to really understand the data, for you to really understand how X, Y, and Z is occurring in the system, you have to be very patient because you're going to be going through troves and troves, terabytes and terabytes of data in order to find a specific artifact related to your case. You can write algorithms, you can write programs, you can write search techniques for you to find a specific artifact. Yes. But when you find that, you have to be able to say where it is exactly stored, how it was exactly stored. So you have to know how to interpret those ones and zeros. You have to look at your registry files. You have to look at your log files. So that's why I say you have to be very, very patient. And you have to be very indigenous in finding and understanding this. So with that said, I mean, if you have any questions right now, Clifford, we can take some questions. But I just wanted people to understand that this course is part and parcel of a bigger opportunity and a bigger session, or not really session, but a bigger initiative that we are working on. I don't want to say too much about it, but we are working on another initiative that is going to be of a great assistance for capacity building for the Caribbean. Next, I know you asked about the conference that we had that was supposed to be last week, which is postponed to next week. At that summit, we are hoping to pitch our idea to see if we can get some investment funding so that we can fully outline the initiative that we're working on. I'm trying hard not to.
Yes, I know. Give too much or
give too much.
Yes.
But it's something. It's sometimes it gives me goosebumps. I actually talked to some person who we are very interested in bringing on board the other day, and he was like, "Whoa, this is great. You're giving me goosebumps." And I won't call his name because he's not here, so I won't call his name. But he was saying this is something that is going to be great for the Caribbean. I love it. I'm feeling it. I tell you, if I had the money today, I would even bother to pitch this at an investment forum. I would just put all of my money into it and build it out and work it. But this bigger initiative that we are coming with is going to help the Caribbean. It's going to help channel each student or each participant, each person that is in this field in the direction that they want to go in. Not the direction that they're only trained on, but the direction that where their passion is. Because digital forensics and cyber security is a passion. you have to have this passion to be in this field, because you're going to be working day in, day out, sometimes just having a cup of tea. If you're really passionate and you really want to find those artifacts, or you really want to create that coherent policy. So
Yeah.
it's coming. It's coming.
Yeah, I do have some questions for you, circling back a little bit about the training itself. Well, most of the questions that I would have prepared were for the Windows Forensics Examiner training, as opposed to the advanced one, which I assuming it will have a little bit more components to it for
Yeah.
persons that are a little bit more seasoned. But what's the duration for a course like this, a training session like this? Because persons will want to know, like, when if they travel to come to Barbados, like how long they need to be here for on the ground, and different stuff like that. So you anticipate a training session like this to last for like a couple days, how a week? What's it like?
So the ISS when Advanced Windows Forensic course is a 5-day course, is 36 hours, I think it is. So you're going to be in the classroom from morning till evening. Let me just pull up the information here for you guys. Just 1 second.
Yeah.
Uh,
While you
but
find that
yeah,
information,
yeah.
I'll probably pop another question, because usually the type of folks that I interact with are more so persons who would have just got into the field of cybersecurity, and I do have a few friends who are interested in digital forensics and who have begun, I guess, their journey or even looking into that direction. So I'm like trying to figure out, what do I tell them if they have interest in doing a course like this, seeing that it has prerequisites that I'm assuming some of these prerequisites can be met before August 2026, or maybe something along the
So
line.
all right. So let me circle back to the course first. The Windows Forensic Examiner course
Yeah.
is 5 days. It's going to be 36 hours in the classroom with your laptop, which would be provided with software.
Mm-hmm.
However, although the course is 5 days, you're not dumped after 5 days. After the 5 days, you're going to be receiving continuously training through virtually. So you're going to be given data sets in order for you to be working on before you actually take that certification. Right. So although it's 5 days, 36 hours in the classroom, after the classroom, you have data sets and you have assignments that you're going to need to complete. And if you're having issues with some of the assignments, you have you'll be connected with one of the trainers
Mm-hmm.
for you to work through those problems with.
Yeah.
So that covers that question in terms of how many days you're going to be on the ground. So prior to that, so it's Monday to Friday is the training. So you travel any Sunday, training starts the Monday. We are working with we have not confirmed the hotels yet, but we are working with the hotel. There'll be snacks provided, coffee breaks in between, water breaks in between. But we're trying to limit the expense for persons for this course. So if we include a lunch, it is going to cost more money, because you know how these hotels work. They work on bringing that income with food and that kind of stuff. But we are trying to work very hard with the hotel that we're looking at to come up with a cost-effective, probably meal plan if you're going to be staying at the hotel as well. So, and that's another thing is the group rates. We could, if we have a certain amount of persons staying at the hotel, we can get a group rate, etc. And that's one of the reasons to why we're requesting that pre-registration information. so we can gather as much information as possible to say, okay, we have these amount of persons that will be staying at the hotel. We can work on getting a group rate, which will help decrease the costs for the participant traveling in. In terms of the venue rate, we cannot dictate their rate. So we have to work with their rate and try to incorporate into the training costs as well for each student, because training is very, very important, but it's also very expensive. And but what you're coming away with is value, is more value than what you're paying in the end of the day.
Yeah. And
So
I'm thinking
the other
this
question.
training is prior to is before the actual summit. So if persons want, they could stay longer and attend the summit as well. Or this is during the
So
summit.
what we're doing is that the Thursday and the Friday of the last week is the summit. So the Windows Forensic Examiner, the 2 1-week courses are going to be on the second week of August, of the 2 weeks in August, because the Windows, the cyber incident forensic response course is a 2-week course.
Mm.
So that's going to start the week prior to the summit week, if you get where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
persons will be able to be there for the summit and be able to take in some of the information that's coming up from the summit,
Okay.
which will also be recorded, because we are working with the cyber people to do recordings this year, last year.
Yeah.
So to answer your other question,
Yeah.
or Clifford, in terms of how persons can delve into digital forensics, I think that was the question you asked, correct?
Yeah, but you got persons who know into the world of cybersecurity and maybe looking to go down the path of digital forensics and be like, oh, you know what, this stumble upon this course as one of their first step after doing the preliminary course to get into the industry. For example, some of my colleagues would have done the Security Plus from CompTIA and be looking to see, oh, well, maybe IASIS, this training is the next step, or is there something in between there, or maybe, so those are the type of persons that I usually have within my circle, persons who are new to the industry, but have passion for different areas, including digital forensics. So, yeah.
So first thing first, you have to have that passion. You have to have the passion that you want to find out the who, what, where, and when. That is fact number one. If you want to know who, what, where, and when, digital forensics is the direction you should take. Now, to go in that direction, you first have to know how is that specific evidence obtained. So the very basic is the identification and seizure of that specific evidence. So that's the first course that you should take, is to identify, know how is processed and seized, and how it's processed in the digital forensics world, and then you can go into the analysis. So once you have grasped that very basic step, you can then appreciate what you're going to be going into when you look at the digital forensics aspect. That's going into looking at the ones and zeros and translating them into readable data. So your passion has to be there, because again, as I said earlier, is patience. You just cannot jump to a conclusion. You have to back that conclusion up with your analysis. So going into that field of digital forensics, you need to have that passion. And then to go deeper into it, start taking some of those free courses, knowing how computers and how mobile devices communicate, so that that did you find the link that Blue Kit security courses? Those are some free courses that you can take for you to get acquainted and for you to understand and for you to feel that flavor of digital forensics. And if you achieve that task, then take your IASIS certification, your course and certification, because that's going to add no value onto the free courses that you have taken.
Okay, great. Like during your presentation, you would have answered most of the questions that I would have generated for you. What I'm gonna have to do now is circle again and ask you more questions about this summit, because I'm sure someone would stumble upon this video on this stream and probably want to know more about the Caribbean Digital Forensics and Cybersecurity Summit. So we're gonna, sidetrack a little bit and go down a little narrow road, just for you to share a little bit behind the whole CDFC Summit.
Okay, so the summit is to bring digital forensics and cybersecurity professionals under one roof. The goal is to build capacity and build the understanding that IT and cybersecurity is two different fields. Businesses need to understand that IT has their role to play. Cybersecurity professionals, digital forensics professionals have their role to play. They all interconnect at some point in time, yes, but they're two different roles. So the summit is ready to bring all the professionals and all the persons who are looking to become professionals in the field to get an understanding of the current threats, how certain threats are affecting the Caribbean region, and then how we can mitigate those threats and how we can prevent those threats from happening. And some of those threats that we can prevent from happening is building capacity, building knowledge, building understanding. So we are bringing industry leaders from the US and from other areas to not only bring their knowledge and their skill sets, but provide solutions. So having that conglomerate of persons in the Caribbean again, pulling away from their busy schedules and giving you that opportunity to interact and network is going to help you again personally, because when we look at this whole problem, we have to look at it from a personal point of view. And persons are not aware of how it is affecting them personally. And I think when we get to that point where we understand how it's affecting us personally, we have a better appreciation of what we can do as a person and then as a team to help prevent these attacks, help prevent these threats from working against us, because financially is going to affect us. And when I say financially, we may not see it right in front of us at that point in time. But if a company continuously getting hit and they're not protecting, or they're not putting systems in place, or they're not understanding the different threat actors and understanding the different dynamics in cybersecurity, it's going to come back on the consumer, because the insurances that they're paying for are going to tell them, listen, we paying up too much money in insurance. So a business is a business for a company is in business to succeed and be profitable, right? But if they keep paying up money, where that money is going to come from? The consumer. So prices are going to go up. And if prices go up, at the end of the day, you want the specific product or service. So you can pay for it. So it affects you personally. And that is where people need to understand and comprehend. It is going to affect you personally. So the summit is bringing persons, bringing the industry leaders, bringing magnets forensics, oxygen forensics, the Diego Global. We're working with another company. I don't want to say it yet because we still working with them. Cybervox and some other companies that we bring in. They're coming. They're coming to give their knowledge, to give how things work in other areas. Like I spent 9 months in Bangladesh building 4 cyber digital forensics units. Is the kind of expertise that we are bringing to the table for the Caribbean.
Yeah. So one of the, and with all of those awesome people and companies and technology, I think the cyber people completes the whole summit by speaking and engaging with the human elements of the of cybersecurity, because of cybersecurity, because that's where we want to be able to bridge that gap. We want to educate and bring awareness, and that is usually one of the, when statistically speaking, when you have checked in the past, most for in typical situation in aviation, where the plane crash here, there, and everywhere, usually when NTSB and everyone else finish their investigation, they speak so more so, you know what? It is human error, pilot deviation, something like that. And in cybersecurity, from a forensics point of view, you'll be able to say, confirm what I'm saying here, where usually most of the case is because of, I would say, human error. Someone clicking on a link that they're not supposed to, someone that is not educated enough to be able to differentiate on what to do or what not to do within the
Mhm.
environment. And because of that, you kind of have I guess these downfalls or these pitfalls. So that's where cyber people um fit within cybersecurity,
Yes,
um within the cybersecurity space. Um,
yes,
yeah.
that is correct.
Yeah. So like we're gonna wrap up very shortly. Of course. Our next, this is a 3-part. I would say this is a 3-part series promoting the 3 courses. Of course, the cyber incident forensic response, which is that's a more holistic um course, would you say, or you would say that is just like, what differentiate that from, say, Windows Forensics Examiner, or from the mobile digital forensics type of training? Because I know we went
So the
in depth with that one with our guests, Sean and Scott, and the other gentleman who would have
Steve,
aided us
Steve.
well. So the Windows Forensics is, would you say it's parallel to that course, or is it more in depth, or is because like I said, cybersecurity is a vast, and there's so many different areas persons can be um can go. So is, I'm trying to figure out here is, because I have persons that might say, I'm interested in all 3 of the training that we're offering, that digital technologies and services and the cybersecurity summit is offering. They're offering the cybersecurity incident forensic response, this particular one, which is the advanced forensics examiner, and then the next time you catch us live, we'll be talking about the mobile device forensics.
You cut out your yeah, we can't hear you. Yes, I can hear you now. So to differentiate between the cyber incident, so
I mean, switch audio a little bit there, switch gear. So the question I was asking is, we're pertaining to like persons who might be interested in taking all three of the training. I mean, they'll be going on simultaneously, so that might kind of
yes.
not be possible. Um, but like persons who take along those might that mindset where they might want to be able to be like, you know what, I want to do all three because I want to be well rounded. What's your advice for persons thinking along those lines?
First thing first, what we will welcome you taking all three courses is not recommending you take all three courses. On know where you want to go. So if you want to look at cyber incident response, we're meaning that you're mastering the cyber intrusion investigation. So you're looking at developing the forensic skills and looking in the corporate network on how you can analyze the logs, how you can find out where the intrusion occur, then you can do the cyber incident forensic response course. But if you are already in that environment and you're just looking for Windows forensics, like you're looking only to be have a full skill sets on just Windows forensics in terms of looking for artifacts and understanding how the artifacts are derived by a forensics tool, then you can look at doing the advanced Windows forensics examiner course. For mobile is a different caveat altogether. Mobile more and more is associated with law enforcement in a sense. While corporate in the Caribbean has not really started to be giving their staff the corporate devices, going into mobile forensics for corporate, the corporate environment may not be palatable at this current time. Eventually, yes, down the road. But the tool that I would, depending on if it's corporate or if it's law enforcement, is the cyber incident forensic response and the advanced Windows forensics examiner. For persons who are still trying to differentiate, okay, should they take the 2-week course or should they take the 1-week course with Windows forensics? It all depends on, again, where you want to go. I would do a little bit more research if I was that person and figuring out, okay, do I want to sit down and assault? Or was I already trained in looking at analysis, but no, I need to be certified with cyber intrusions? Then yes, go do the CIFR course because you have already started to do threat analysis. So if you have the background in threat analysis, then you can go and do the 2-week CIFR course where you're going to be specifically looking at cyber intrusions, how to forensically examine those cyber intrusions.
Okay, great. All right. So what I'm gonna do, we're gonna wrap it up here now, so that we could, you know, we can wrap this particular live now. Next time you join us, that should be, I don't want to give out the wrong date, but stay tuned and we'll be able to see when we go live. The next topic we're gonna be looking at is the mobile digital forensics
Mobile
training.
device forensics.
Sorry, yes, mobile device forensics. Thank you. Don't forget, if you are interested in any of these particular training session, you could pre-register. Now, how the pre-registration link works is that you just provide us with some contact details and indicate which course you are interested, which training session or which examination, which certification, I should say, you're interested in. And once you highlight that, we'll be able to then provide the right set of information to you once registration is open up, and from there you could we could look into to getting you more details, and then you determine if it's the right you'll be able to plan and arrange for attending the training and the summit. We've been here for a while. I'm looking forward to having outside of um these special series where we deep dive and we speak about what to expect, and we're here to answer questions on what's not for these particular training. I think we need to have, like, probably another few live sessions, giving persons an opportunity as we get closer to the next year and to the summit, in case persons may have, especially when we open registration, we probably jump back on for a couple hours, or a couple hours, but we jump on back for about an hour, and we'll be able to answer any follow-up questions that persons may have. You can leave any questions you have in the comments for any one of these particular stream, and we'll be able to be sure to either address it in a subsequent live stream, one of our Cyberscene podcast, or any of our monthly webinar, which is something that we're working on to be able to, have more open communication and bridge the gap. Apart from that, anything that you want to drop in there, Neil, before you go?
I just dropped the link for the Blue Cape security courses. Those are some very tremendous free courses that you can take. There are a couple others that we can also send them, but this Blue Cape security course, I mean, they're very, very good.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'll put those links in the description, or I'll pin it in a comment for persons that are here and for persons who are going to watch after. Apart from that, it's always a pleasure to have a conversation with you. I am looking forward, and this is a sneak peek, to when we can have more open forum, just sit down and chat about different digital forensics products, different techniques, different training, and just so persons can kind of get some insight from your years of experience, and also, of course, sharing our thoughts and what's not on in the whole cybersecurity and digital forensic stuff. Um, Good stuff is coming soon from the cyber people. You can look forward to that. And until our next session, you can check our socials. I forgot to mention that in the at the beginning of this stream, we stream this particular session and these type of series across all of our platforms. We have the Cyber People YouTube channel, we have the Digital Technologies and Services YouTube channel, and of course we have the Caribbean Digital Forensics and Cybersecurity YouTube page. We had a wonderful summit January, and most of a lot of information were captured for that summit, and it's there on the Caribbean Digital Forensics and Technology YouTube page. You could always take a look. The guys from Ditego, sorry if I messed up the name, and some of the other folks were there, and we had a wonderful, wonderful time. Apart from that, I will say until next time, thank you for joining us, and I will see you in the next one.
Hey, the cyber people are on the air. For digital safety, we're showing you where. Cybersecurity starts with cyber sense, it's key. Join the conversation, come learn with me. The TCP radio show, let's go. Knowledge and answers, watch them grow. Hear what you need from those who know. This is the TCP. from those who know. This is the TCP radio show. Hey, the cyber people are on the air. For digital safety, we're showing you where. Cybersecurity starts with cyber sense, it's key. Join the conversation, come learn with me. The TCP radio show, let's go. Knowledge and answers, watch them grow. Hear what you need from those who know. This is the TCP radio show. Hey, the cyber people are on the air. For digital safety, we're showing you where. Cybersecurity starts with cyber sense, it's key. Join the conversation, come learn with me. TCP radio show, let's go. Knowledge and answers, watch them grow. Hear what you need from those who know. This is the TCP radio show. Hey, the cyber people are on the air. For digital safety, we're showing you where. Cybersecurity starts with cyber sense, it's key. Join the conversation, come learn with me. The